Keller Williams Arizona Realty brings you Ignite 2.0, session number 6, Define Your Values with Martha Andrews.
All right, you guys, so we are gonna kick off Ignite this morning about learning about our value proposition with Martha Andrews, who is running one of the biggest teams, most successful teams in our market center. Also, one of our owners of the market center and just a huge contributor, and also very well educated in the luxury market. She does a lot of luxury work. So if you're ever looking for some advice or someone to look up to in that aspect, she has a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience in that field as well. So we're super excited to have you, Martha. And I am going to turn it over to you as I pull up the slides, and we'll just, we'll go from there.
Okay, so is this, when the slides come up, am I still going to get to see everybody's faces?
Not everybody. You're going to get a small, oops.
I gotcha.
There's Kiana.
Hi, Kiana.
Hi, Kiana. I hit the wrong screen. All right, let me try again. Here we go.
They're going to be up in the top part. So
yeah, they'll be in the top part.
Hold off on it for a little bit.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. I just wanted to say hello to everybody. And before we got started, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my real estate journey and then hear about yours, because this topic is really, we have to dig deep on. When you said, I'm going to go get my real estate license, what is it that made you think you were going to be good at this? What is it that thought you were going to set yourself up apart from the 25,000 other agents we have in the Valley already? So I completely didn't know I had a value and a vision when I started, but as I worked through Keller Williams, it was evident that I thought about these things. I just didn't know how to put them into words. So, I'd been a mom. My degree was in real estate when I was in college. I had business with emphasis in real estate. I worked in marketing with real estate companies, but then I stopped for 20 years and had my family. I always knew that I could get back into it. I knew I really liked taking care of people and the customer service aspect of a job, and that real estate with my background was really going to fill that need. And but I didn't put that together. I just knew that that was something I liked to do. It's probably the mothering instinct in me. And so I got into real estate, and I kind of wanted to follow in people who had been successful in my neighborhood. That's where I first went. Andrew Bloom lives down the street. So I started there and worked with him a little bit. That wasn't quite the right fit, and then ended up with Kelly Cook. And I stayed with him for 4 years and really learned a lot about Keller Williams and the processes that you go through in becoming a realtor. So all of you have done the smartest thing you could have ever done, showing that you have vision for your career by choosing Keller Williams. Hands down, smartest decision you ever made. Because from this point on, it's going to give you the tools you need to follow up later in your career as things get busy, and you're going to have a step ahead of your competition. What I realized is I needed a big why, which, I know you'll go over this, and I needed to put in words why I was going to be different for people. I came into the business knowing that I probably was going to work towards the luxury brand. So I had some thought process. It's all about thinking instead of just jumping right in. But I wasn't going to turn down business anywhere, right? So I had the luxury in the back of my mind. I had my database in my mind. It was all on my phone, people I knew from my kids' school, all of those things. But then I needed something to pull it all together. And that was your value proposition or your vision, whatever that happens to be. That's what kind of solidified what my career was going to be like. And from that moment forward, my value proposition for my clients is what I tell them at every single appointment. I meet somebody, I tell them who I am in a few words that I developed in a class like this. So they understood what it meant to me. And that's what I want us to get out of this, is that you just do some thinking about, why did you get in this business in the first place? What do you want to do? What are you going to do differently, or what are you going to do better than everybody else that's out there competing for the same business? Hold on. Oh, sorry, it's my daughter. Coming out and just, selling real estate doesn't set you apart. You might get some deals, you might have some friends that call you, but you're not going to have something that you can tell them why they need to choose you if they're interviewing more than you, right? That's what I want to get out of this. So it's like defining the value, and then we're gonna talk about the value and the service it involves, and then we're going to learn how to state it so that when you meet with people, you have a statement that you can say easily. You can get it printed. It can be a tagline on your signature box, and it becomes who you are, and it defines your business. And I'd really like to just spend a couple minutes. I know there's not too many of us, but that we could actually, shortly say, how long have you been in the business, and why you got into the business? What was it that you were trying to get out of it? And y'all are in a grid on my thing. So I'm just actually going to call out people's names, and I'm just going to go through it. And if you just say your name, how long you've been in the business, and why you went into the business. Okay, Victoria, you're first.
I usually am. My name's Victoria. I got licensed the end of February, started with Keller Williams the 1st of March. I got into it because I needed more flexibility to pick up my kids from school, drop them off, that sort of thing. We have some behavioral issues, so this eliminates that if I'm able to pick them up and drop them off. So.
Great. James?
Sorry about that, Martha. I had to unmute. So I've been in since February, and I've had a lot of sales background. I've had my real estate license for a number of years, being in telecom. And so with the change in the industry, I decided to try to put it full time and see if I could make a run at real estate.
Eric? Hi, Eric.
Hi, I've been licensed for a few years, but I haven't been active. I wanted to get active. And to me, the business is really interesting. The process, the people. I think it's a great way for me to grow as a person. I think, and for me, my clients are the priority, not myself. It's not about the money. It's giving people the service they need. That's the important thing to me.
Gavin?
Yeah, I come from a sales background in financial services. I guess kind of how I got into this business is kind of a roundabout. All my parents, my dad, my stepmom, my mom, and my stepdad were all in the real estate business. Three out of four were in residential. And for happenstance, I worked for OfferPad last summer, and I just thought that a little bit of the way they were doing things were they could have captured more of the market with how many leads they had, but they're kind of going after more the wider margin flipping type of thing. And I thought there's a way to drive change in the real estate market and help people at the same time, make it more efficient from a time frame and ease of use, whether it's the home repairs and binzers, or even things like down the road, looking at title insurance and how to appropriately have that priced based on the risk. I mean, that's a little complex, but it seems like to some extent it's kind of overpriced for the risk that the title company's placing. But that's down the road. But right now, I'm just working on getting so busy that I need to have a partner. But that'll probably take a few months.
Awesome. Carrie?
Hi. I got my real estate license the end of December, and I started with Keller Williams in March. And I've always done like waitressing, bartending. I like working with the people, and I've always just been interested in real estate. I thought it would be like a great career.
Awesome. Keith?
Yeah, I've been with Keller Williams for about 10 or 12 years, most of it in the commercial division doing hotels. Recently, hotels is not the best place to be with what's going on in the pandemic. So I'm going to start going full tilt into luxury. I've been a chief operating officer of 3 top 100 golf clubs and have a database of 10,000 commercial agents. So I'm going to try and hit the commercial agents to try and bring their clients in and buy high-end properties around golf courses.
Awesome. Sonia?
Hi, my name is Sonia. I've had my license since last summer, so almost a year. And it's a second career for me. I was in healthcare for 30 years. And unfortunately, I had an injury that I wasn't able to do that anymore. And when we moved here, I kept running into these horrible real estate agents, and I was like, wow, I could really do this. So that's how I decided to do this.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Christy? Okay, tell them I forced you.
It's funny, she actually did to an extent. I started, my background has been mainly in, started out with legal assistant and then operations management. So I'm a behind the scenes paperwork kind of person anyway. And then I did go to work in an admin position for Kelly Cook, and Martha was there. And I stayed with Kelly about 8 months, and then just had some transition things go on in my life and had to leave, but still stayed in touch with Martha. Our sons played football together in high school, although mine did not continue on like Mark did. So we have a little bit of history together, and she reached out, and I started doing marketing and just admin stuff for her. And she said, why don't you get your license? I'm like, no, it's too hard. I don't know. But anyway, long story short, she was very instrumental in me being where I am today. Got my license, and one of the main reasons I did do it is because I don't want to work for anybody anymore. I'm entering the later stages of my life, and I've always had somebody tell me what to do, and I like the fact that I can make my own hours and kind of make my own rules. And of course, I love not only the paperwork, but also the customer service aspect that I provide to agents and their clients. So, yep, that's me. Oh, and I've been licensed it'll be 2 years in July.
Awesome. Hey, Eric.
Oh, it's the same Eric. He's on phone and video.
Gotcha.
You can go to Dan.
Dan?
Hi. Yeah, you see my name right. So the reason I got into the real estate is just like most of mom, they want the flexibility for the kids, and also they want their own career as well. So the real estate just fit perfectly. And also, I'm kind of new in the country as well. So there's not much choice for me to develop a career in here, just be honest. So but I did some in China. I did pretty good in real estate as well. I just hope I can do something over here, sell some houses and do some investment, just able to support myself and be a model for my son. So
Awesome. Greg?
Hey, yeah, well, I love real estate. I've always liked it, so I was glad when I figured out there was a way to get in. I did start a while ago when I lived in the Bay Area in California. I got my license there first, had a little bit of experience there, but it didn't go, and I didn't start really the correct way. So I ended up doing something else for a while, and then I started up here. where we've wanted to live for ages. I like being able to help people, and I like being able to set my own schedule and have the freedom of that. Before I immigrated from Canada, I was a financial planner there. So sort of some similarities between the careers, but I found with real estate, I'd be able to meet more people, have more ways of getting new clients by doing open houses, things like that, versus going back in to be a financial planner and not knowing anyone. So that's kind of how I made that decision.
Thanks. Margaret?
Good morning. I got into real estate primarily because I like to be involved, like to be connected with people and active with what's going on. And my background is in corporate America, in mostly business to business sales and service. So I like to help people. I have a little bit of a teacher inside me. And my mom, way back when, was in real estate for a while. So I guess at some point it kind of gets into your blood.
That's awesome. Chris?
Hi, I'm Chris. I've been in real estate for only 2 months, and I chose it because I came from a sort of background where I wasn't as involved, but I really enjoyed being involved and like really connecting with people. Coming from car dealerships, working as like a BMW genius, so I knew this is what I wanted to get into. And I'd say the most attractive idea about it is it has limitless potential. So I decided to just pick this up full time and see how it goes.
Awesome. And Bika, we didn't do you, did we?
Not yet, no. Okay. So I started real estate in January. And like yourself, Martha, I did take a break to raise a family for about 10 years, not 20. And then I went into a franchise business of my own. Moved to Phoenix, and I still want to be able to make my own schedule and not work for someone like 9 to 5. So I thought real estate would be a good place, and I was motivated by my own agent, real estate agent, to do this.
That's great. That's always a great way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing. Did I miss anybody?
I think you got everybody.
Okay, great. And the reason I wanted to do that is because, you know, we all came for a reason, and we're all here at Keller Williams for a reason. What can happen when you first start in real estate is that you just get started. You just start, you know, learning how to do the contract. You start meeting with people, and you kind of, if like me, this is how I did it, which is not the way to do it. You figure it out as you go along, right? And you learn how to maybe put it all together. And, you know, I haven't been doing it that long. This is going to be my 8th year. But from when I started and did 4 transactions my first year and didn't cap, to have a team of 12 agents, and we had a gross commission earned of over $2 million last year. That's a huge jump, right? Every one of you can do that. I don't want you to have to go through the trouble I went through at the beginning and figuring it all out. So doing things like this is like the best thing you could possibly do, and continue with it, because the processes of understanding how to set you apart from all the other people are so critical. You know, I would go to an appointment, and without not setting myself apart, they didn't have a reason to choose me, right? They didn't see what I could offer them. I didn't learn how to verbalize that. So that's basically what this whole class is about. And I probably won't follow much of the script, but it did say in my packet, this is what it says. When Gary Keller was researching the millionaire real estate agent, he noted that every top producing agent he spoke with had a deep and almost inherent sense of service. You cannot grow a real estate business if you don't prioritize your client's experience above all else. A stellar experience is how you earn your commission and get referrals. So this value proposition is taking you from leads to actually getting the deal, right? Because you're going to sell yourself and the service that you're going to provide. Pretty simply, I realized that for me to be different, I was going to take 100% control of my clients, make this so that they didn't have to deal with one thing during the process and working with me. If they needed me to go, they were out of town and their plants needed to be watered, I was going to go and water their plants or pick up something they needed. I was going to be the most personal, attended real estate agent they've ever had, right? I was going to be at every showing. I was going to call them after everything. That's how I started to work things out, right? That was going to be my thing, was that I was going to communicate. I was going to be there. I was going to make it easy for them. I was going to take all the stress away. And I learned how to tell them that everything they wanted to have done, I was going to do it and make it easy. So, you know, I could say that, but it needed to be in a very specific sentence so they understood it, right? So that's where I want us to get today. And I know we'll write some things and it can change over time. You can realize, oh, you know, I thought this was going to be my value. Everybody's going to have basically the same thing, but not everybody's going to know how to voice it. I mean, if you want to talk about something and then over time you realize, you know, my goal isn't that, but it's really this, then you can change it as you go along. So before we start, let's just get the definition of what it means to have a value proposition. It's your service, basically. What are you going to offer to your client? What is the benefit for your client? It's what you state you do to be able to earn your commission, right? One of the things I say is the best interest of the client is the only interest to be considered. I tell them that every single time I talk to them. And pretty soon they understand that whatever they need, I'm going to take care of. So the best interest of my client is the only interest I think about. It's not, nothing else matters to me. So, and it helps to hold us to these high standards. So, you know, we all got in for one reason or another in this business. We got in because we like the flexible schedule. We got in because we have a couple of friends that we knew were going to sell houses and we could make a little bit of money, or we could have some independence. But you're not going to survive in this business if you don't understand that becoming a real estate agent is 24/7 service. It's customer service. That's all it is. All day, every day. And so the ones that are going to end up being the most successful is going to understand how to bring that service need. A lot of your previous jobs were service-oriented jobs. That's why you can transition so nicely into this field. That's all that matters is service, really. Let's say, okay, I'm going to talk about, we usually have a really kind of loose understanding what our service is, right? Where I told you I attend every showing. I will run their, if they're not there in town, I will go check on the house. I'll go flush the toilets. I mean, spelling those things out is specific, but just saying, I'll do whatever you ask, that's really not that specific. But spelling out the service that you'll do and always letting them know you're going to do it at the very highest level, not half-assed. You're going to be there. You're going to service them at the very highest level. Changing the way you're going to phrase what you do is going to make a difference in how your client perceives you too. So you're going to be able to craft that value proposition shortly. But they said that there's some data about it.
Hey, Reed, can you put your, Reed, can you put your
that's someone different. different people. A buyer is going to look for something different than a seller. Do y'all agree with that?
I'm going to pull up that slide, Martha. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That way they can see it.
So I want you to see what a buyer values versus what a seller values. And that's why, when we talk about dual agency, y'all that may not know, have studied that yet. When you're dealing with, you have both the buyer and the seller, it can get kind of confusing because they have different goals. It's like, that your buyer wants it at the lowest possible price. Your seller wants it at the highest possible price. And so there can always be a little push and pull. It's a very thin rope, tightrope you walk when you're a dual agent. But this is what 2018 profiled home buyers and sellers of NAR said, that a buyer, you got it?
Yeah, sorry, the numbers aren't showing up on my screen. I have them in my book.
You had it, did it?
Can you guys see numbers?
Oh, I'll just tell them the number.
Okay. Thanks.
So the reputation of the agent was 31%. That's huge.
Here we go.
Right? That doesn't mean if you're a new agent, you have no reputation to go on. That's not true. You have a history of your past life. You have, if you were a mom and were PTO, involved in the PTO and ran organizations and worked for nonprofit, it still provides you a reputation, right? And you're also a part of a really strong company, Keller Williams. That reputation of Keller Williams can transfer to you as well. The next one is that 22% agent is honest and trustworthy. You would not believe how many people are not honest and trustworthy. They say they're something simple. They say they're going to call back. They don't. They say they're going to do something and they don't do it. Or they tell them, oh, don't worry, we just won't tell them that. All of those little cues tell your buyer you're not honest and trustworthy. That is a deal killer right there. You have to be honest and trustworthy at all times. And if you've ever read the NAR Code of Ethics, it's pretty strict. The other value is that an agent is a friend or family member. Okay, so they're going to take that person. That's 19%. The agent's knowledge of the neighborhood comes up to 15%. So, that's helpful, right? Your reputation, you're honest and trustworthy. Now, if you're a family friend, that's something different. But then if you know the neighborhood, and then the other is the last 13%. So that's what a buyer is looking for, right? Can we go to the next slide? And this is what sellers want. So the sellers say, let's get the percentages, 20% help seller market the home to potential buyers. That's what they want. They want someone that's going to help them to market their home to buyers, all right? The next 20% want them to price the home competitively, okay? So we're already different. Your reputation with the buyer was what was going to get you right there. Right now, this is what your skill. You're going to be able to market to potential buyers, or you're going to be able to price their home competitively. And then the next one is 19% want them to help them sell their home within a specific period of time. So this is nothing like what the buyers want. And then they want to help 14% help the buyer find the buyer for their home. Another 14% help with negotiation and dealing with buyers, and then 13% others. So you've got two different types of people, your buyers and your sellers, wanting two different things from you. And you can have two different value propositions. You can say, when I'm meeting with buyers, this is what I'm going to say. That would make sense, wouldn't it? That you actually combine the overall general feeling you want your clients to feel about you, but you could gear it towards a buyer or a seller. Like, making sure if the seller is really anxious about getting the highest price and getting the people through the door, your value proposition really needs to be geared that way, right? Telling them, they value integrity and honesty also, but they just want their home sold for the highest price in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of hassle. you just got to do that, right? So you have to consider both options when you're talking about it.
And you know what, Martha, I don't mean to interrupt, but I think I flew past we had on 2 for buyers. I think I missed this one, Anya. So I apologize. That's my fault.
Second
We
page.
had one more at the beginning.
Right. Help find the right home to purchase. That was a huge number.
Yeah.
That was the biggest amount. Help buyer negotiate the terms of the sale and help with price negotiations. Those are the number 1, 2, and 3 in addition. So as we talked about, they want the house at the lowest possible price at the best terms that they want. And, you know, timing is not as important for them, but they don't want to have a hassle either. They want it to be done easily. But they kind of like to run the show. You know what I mean? They want the support, whereas the sellers really need your skill. I think that's a big difference. Okay, so I want y'all to think about this. So they ask us to do, what kind of services can you think of offering to your buyers or sellers, and tell me whether it's for both or one or the other. Usually it's for both, but you just have to change your verbiage. Do you think you have to offer in this business? What have you thought that can and there's no right or wrong answer. Just throw out some ideas of what are things you can do to help buyers and sellers achieve the goal that we've just told you are the most important things to them.
Martha, I think if you explain the process up front, give them a clear understanding of what it entails to do a transaction, and then what you're going to do for them during that transaction is a key element.
So you're think of value as is actually giving them the knowledge and then communicating along the whole process with them, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Good. What are some other things you can do?
Educating them from the very beginning about the process, so they have clear expectations and they can also see what value the agent brings by doing that.
Yeah. Educate them. Good. What about if we know that they want buyers brought, the sellers want buyers brought through the door, what kind of things can you tell them to give them hope that you're going to be the one to be able to do that?
That you're prospecting for buyers every day and will host open houses.
Exactly. Good.
If you bring them buyers, those buyers will be pre-qualified. You know, make sure they have the background to buy that house in the first place.
Good.
That Keller Williams has hundreds of agents across the valley, and we have many buyers in many different areas that we can bring to your property.
Right. So they're living in your company and you know, how you can get out to, you have that ability, something other agents might not have, especially from little boutique agencies. They don't have that depth, right? So you have that depth. You can go out and search for the right buyer for their home. That's good.
I've got a thing that I use to kind of keep me on track. The top 10 things that I do to get your home sold and have you feel good about allowing me to work for you. It starts with pre-marketing your home by calling 100 to 200 of your neighbors, advertise on LinkedIn and Facebook, using compressed showings to create a sense of urgency mindset with buyers, have a professional take amazing photos, coach you on staging your home, help you set an attractive top dollar price, host many open houses, promote your home not just with the MLS, but with Zillow and realtors, give you important feedback from buyers, and set expectations on all steps. And the bonus extra mile would be walk your neighborhood when appropriate to hang door flyers and promote your home.
So you've thought about what you can do to offer value, and you spelled it out in a 10-step program, right?
Yes, it's just like a 10-step AA, except it's selling your home instead.
Now, Gavin, I'd like, when we go to expound on that, I would like you to add some personal information into that.
Okay.
You've gotten the nuts and bolts, which anybody can do, but why can you do this better? Something about you personally that when we go to do this, that I want y'all to start bringing in why it's you and not somebody else, right?
Well, it's so hard to be not cliche. Like, I know I'm like brutally honest, and because of little private information, I'm ADD and an only child. So when I broke the window, I couldn't lie to blame anyone, so I never really learned how to lie. So that's a good thing if you're my client, because I'm not going to bullshit you. It's not what I do. In other jobs, in financial services, the same thing. People, once they know and like me, they trust me deeply, because I won't pay myself before I pay them, type of thing.
And that right there, those are two things. You know, you can trust you, and you're not going to lie. You're not going to bullshit them. So those two things need to, with a story, can be woven into to all these things you're going to do for them. So, and that's really important, that they understand what they're getting from you. Because that's what this value proposition is all about. It's about what are they going to get from you? I mean, I don't know how many of you, if you've been doing this for even if you've been doing it for half a year or a year, and you've had, you go to an appointment and you realize there's 5 other agents coming after you. And you're like, oh my gosh, there's no way. You know, we're all going to say the same thing. They're going to offer lower commission and they're going to get it. But I've had situations where I didn't discount my commission and I still got it because of maybe something I said about who I am resonated with the seller. I did my homework. I knew what they were looking for. I asked the right questions, but it was maybe basically how I presented my value proposition was the key to making the difference.
So connecting on a personal level, first, you have like a series of questions like, how long you've lived in the Valley? How did you meet your spouse? What do you do when you're not working? Stuff like that, to kind of figure out if you have something in common, like you both have dogs, or you both like to fish, or you both met your wife or ex-wife at a bar, as the case may be.
Anything we can connect on. I do that all the time, and it's open house stuff too. I mean, that's what you do at an open house to get a buyer. And you know, Keller Williams, they use it, say Ford, and it can be spelled any way. It can be DROF, it can be ORDF, it can be FORD. But if you haven't learned it, it took me 6 years to even hear the word Ford, and now I use it all the time. And it is family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Is that right?
Yep,
Yeah.
got it.
And, you know, I feel like if I can at least connect with somebody about those 3 out of 4 of those items, whether I'm at an open house or I'm meeting them as an appointment, or we're sitting down at Starbucks, then and it becomes about them and not about me. I do it because I want to find something connecting, like Gavin said, somewhere. You know, most of y'all know I have a son who plays professional football. I always ask people, do you watch football? I mean, if they say yes, you don't think I'm bringing out my son that plays professional football? Heck yeah. But that's just going to get us so that then they'll listen to me and hear what I have to say.
I'm just curious. What position does he play? Your son?
Tight end.
Okay, so big kid. Okay, big kid.
He's a big kid. Yeah. So, and I stop at my office anytime. I love to talk about him. But I have a lot of great kids too. Okay, so anybody else want to talk about different things that they have as something they would consider as a value? Okay, so I'm going to read you really quick Kristen Cole's value. She has this whole sheet of value propositions, and hers says our values. This is for her whole Kristen Cole network. And if you don't know who Kristen Cole is, she is our operating principal. She owns the highest percentage of our market center of the investors. So she runs it. She actually operates it. But in addition, she has grown her Kristen Cole network like to 30, 40 cities. I don't know. It's so big. It's ridiculous. I don't know how she does it. And she has an office in our market center. She's not around very much, but she's one of Gary Keller's right-hand people. So she coaches me, and I'm pretty, I feel pretty honored to have that. She does things at such a high level. I just kind of, can only do a small percentage of what she says, but everything she's done, why would I recreate the wheel? But here are her values: humble, serving others without regard for what we are going to get back. H, humble and kind. U, under promise, over deliver. M, marry the mission, date the model. B, be accountable and result oriented. L, loyalty and legacy matter. E, excellence in all things. So that's just one of her. I can share the screen, right?
Yeah.
How do I do this?
At the bottom, there's a little green square with an arrow. It says share screen.
Okay.
Click on that. It should give you the option to click on the screen that you're on.
Share.
There we go. It's coming.
Okay. Like
is that your grandbaby? We see your grandbaby.
So, here it is.
And then perfect. Yes.
So she has, I have a big team, but I can't get to this. I'm not really good at words. Here's that was her values. She has a vision: first in choice, first in market share, first in community. That's her company vision. She has a belief system. She has her big why. She has so it's called her big why and MVVBP. Keller Williams loves their acronyms.
Yep.
So that mission, values, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective. So over the course of working at Keller Williams, at some point, they're going to have you do all of these things. So I always cheat off of hers. I take things she wrote and that sounds good. I like that one. That's really well thought out. But if you think of these things in a big picture, even if you're just a single agent, you kind of apply them to yourself. It's deciding what kind of agent you're going to be that's going to be what's setting you apart from everybody else. And the big why kind of is where it all comes from. So I just looked online to get this from her. It's everywhere, but I just wanted to share that part. Okay, so then what do I do? Stop share?
Yes.
Okay, any questions so far?
And I'll get that, you guys, too, because I'm here at the office, so I can just go into Joe and Kristen's office and grab a picture, get it off the website to share with you guys, so that you have it, too. Because I think that's how, what Martha's sharing, when my coach back in Illinois, when we were working, that's a very similar model that we worked off of. So in our share drive, if you look in my listing presentation, similar to Martha, I looked at examples and was like, oh, I like the way that works and that looks and that's clean. And it's part of my listing presentation also. I think it's just another piece that people don't stop and think about. Other agents don't put that in. And I think it's so huge for people to be able to connect with you as a person too, and understand why you're there and what you're going to do and what you're going to provide the ultimate experience. And I think so many people get caught up in transaction or you're for the close, but really what we're doing, like Martha said quite a few times, is we're creating an experience. And how are we going to create a memorable experience that's going to not only keep them coming back, but as soon as they hear somebody talking about real estate, that your name is going to come off of their tongue.
Yeah, it's so true. And, I've had the great pleasure of coming in when homes haven't sold with other realtors, and they interview me and they want to know what I'm going to do differently. And my first thing is, well, what didn't happen with your first one? And every single time you can hear that they have angst. It wasn't a comfortable experience. They didn't have communication. So if you're going to write a vision statement, a value statement, communication, they felt like they weren't getting their attention. They felt like they weren't being honest with them. They just didn't get a good feeling from them. So they're obviously searching for someone else. So what do you think, even if your value statement is your proposition, it doesn't have those words in them, if I were to go and talk to that person, I would make sure that I addressed every one of those issues. And so having a value proposition that kind of encompasses all those kind of things is what people want to hear, right? They want you to take care of them in this transaction. They want to know they can trust you. They want to know that you're going to do what you say, and they want to know that you have that high level of service and integrity that they're looking for in an agent. So, and it can become, like I said, it can become your tagline, so that every time you send an email, they see, maybe it's just three words you write at the bottom of your thing that tell people who you are, customer driven, honest, or high integrity, things like that. Those are the things that they want to see, and you want to just keep reiterating and reiterating in your business to set you apart. Because believe me, there's out of 25,000 agents here in the Valley, you know the 80-20 rule. So only 20% of us actually work and make money. You want to be that 20%, which means you don't have to beat out all 25,000, but you've got to beat out, what's 20% of 25,000? 5,000? You got to beat, is that right?
Sounds good.
I think 5,000. Who knows? I'm not good at, except for
Correct.
commission. That's all I know how to do. 6%. That's all I can figure out. So what I want you to do is spend some time right now jotting down words that are you in your core, you and your business that you've noticed about yourself, whether it's in raising a family, whether it's dealing with someone's financial business, whether it's dealing in real estate. Who are you as a person, and what do you want to get across? So if you just jot down some 5 descriptive words and then rank them in order for me. I'm just going to, as you're thinking, the value proposition is something unique and memorable, and it's hopefully used to persuade people about what the true value is of working with you. So think of those words that allow you to be able to earn the commission that they're willing to pay you, right? Just what is it you're worth? Okay, does anybody have a few words? I would love for y'all to just tell me, you don't have to say all 5, but just give me some of the words you've written down.
I wrote down honesty, integrity, communication, caring, and enthusiastic.
Good.
I have caring, communication, fun, analytical, hard worker, lifelong learner.
Good.
I have helpful, passionate, friendly, happy, and determined.
Like it. Those are.
Oh, I was going to say mine.
Go ahead, Carrie.
Fair, determined, honest, hardworking, loyal.
Good. Okay, so now you've got these words, and think about the buyers, what they want, and the sellers and what they want, and try and come up with a sentence or 2 or a phrase that lets them know very simply who you are and how you're going to help them. You know, the words that fun, energetic, those are all good words that, you know, you can use at the beginning to then get to the meat of what you're there for, the loyalty. And remember, the sellers want you to sell their home at the highest possible price, shortest amount of time, with the least amount of worry on their part. And the buyers want to buy a home. Sellers want the most amount of money, least amount of time, right? Buyers want least amount of money. And you there for the negotiation for them. And they want to know that it's done with the least amount of hassle. None of them want the hassle. So when you read this sentence, make sure you're owning that for them, right? That's what I would suggest, is that you own that for them. So if mine is the best interest of the client is the only interest to be considered. Now, I can change that with buyers and sellers when I'm with them, but bottom line, you get that I don't care what it is, I'm going to take care of you, right? That's what I'm putting across. It doesn't matter about anybody else around here. You are the most important person to me. And that's what I want people to understand when I'm working with them, that I don't hand things off to my other agents. It's me. When you do it, you get me. And so sit and just think of something that you can do. And it doesn't have to be now. I mean, but just start putting thoughts down. Just be able to create this value proposition. You know, you may have to think about it as you walk around a day and have it evolve. Jackie, do you have a value proposition?
Yeah, I mean, now it's changed, but for me, I always, my tagline back when I was an agent was raising the bar in real estate. And they knew, like, with that, and I have a page actually very similar to Kristen's, and I had it spelled out, you know, with communication, integrity, contribution. And that's where I came from. And then I defined my values, very similar to some of the things that people said about being loyal and intelligent and educated to get the negotiations done. But that's what they knew. They knew I was going to raise the bar. And that was also a phrase that you can coin any way you want it. And the people that knew me knew I used that in fitness, but you can raise the bar at any point in your life. How am I going to raise the bar to create the ultimate experience for you?
It creates that conversation, right? So the tag gets you to tell them about all those other things about you, right?
Exactly.
It's awesome. I like how you tied it into your fitness, and I think that's awesome. Yeah. So what is it now that you're a PC coach?
We're set, achieve, surpass, right? Like, so what can my mission, my vision, right, is to get you into professionally and personally to set, achieve, and surpass your personal and professional goals.
Okay, so as a new agent, you know right away when she says that, those are her goals for you, right? There's no questioning. Now, how she does it, she has to go into more detail, but that's all there for you in those 3 words. Pretty amazing.
I think about it as, like, for me, like you said, Martha, tagline, something that was me that was going to speak out, right? Like, that people back in Illinois were like, there she is again, raising the bar. Like, that's, you'd hear it, right? Like, with Martha saying, like, that's something that's following Martha. With set, achieve, surpass, you know, SAS, like, that's what, when I talk about it here. And then I also think about value proposition as your elevator pitch, right? You're in the elevator, you've got 2 floors up. Can you verbalize what you do and why you do it? Right. And with what Martha's line, she absolutely could. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm working with her. She's got my back.
Well, and you know, Mayo Clinic, that's where my husband works. It is the best interest of the patient is the only interest to be considered. So I didn't make it up. I stole it from Mayo. I have seen it forever. You don't have to create the wheel. You just have to, and I at the time, my husband and I were sitting down. He goes, this is what you do. And I said, I'm just going to use that same thing. It's okay. So I do. But I went on, I Googled it. I Googled value propositions, and there's some great ones out there. And you may take a word from here, a word from there, and put it to where it makes it sound like you. And then it doesn't mean that's all you say, but like I said, it starts the conversation about the type of person you're going to be, because believe me, it is a cutthroat world out there. You're lucky to be at Keller Williams, because I really truly feel like we support each other. I mean, I honestly can tell you, if I were at the office, which I hope it someday will be there on a continuing basis, my office is open. You can call me at any time. Jackie has had people call me. We truly can help each other. So if you're struggling with something like creating this information, let's sit down and Google some, let's talk about yourself, and it can be done more on a one-on-one. You can work with Jackie on it. You know, we got to do something that makes you special, that tells people you're special and you're the reason, you're the person they need to choose to help sell their home. They're going to have the most success, and it's why you're going to earn your commission. And that's really where it comes from. You got to tell them why you should get paid.
I love that. I love how you really described what it is and how to go about finding it. And I'll tell you guys for sure, we're going to continue to break it down in coaching, kind of really take each little piece and continue to work on it. Because like Martha said at the beginning, it's not something that you kind of just like walk in with right away. You kind of learn about yourself as an agent and who you are and who you want to be. And it's kind of combining what you already know about yourself, right? And bringing it into this world, and then really developing it and changing it, just like we pivot, right? Or we shift with anything. Sometimes we talked about how our big why changes, you know, and it evolves over time. And just like Martha mentioned, that can happen with the value proposition also.
Yeah, and you have to be careful. I mean, the word integrity, I've worked with someone and they had that in their tagline. But then as I worked with them, I'd see them cut corners, and I'd see them, you know, maybe not be completely honest about things. And I wondered, you know, is that, if that really is something that's not a core value of theirs, then what else isn't a core value? You have to, if you write down integrity as one of your values, or you intimate that in your proposition, you better believe that you know, you have to have that in the back of your mind. Is this the right thing to do? Or if you say you're going to be a communicator, that, and you don't take your client's phone call, you know what I mean? Or you don't call them back in a timely manner, don't put that word in there unless you can own it 150%. I mean, that's the key, because once someone doesn't totally believe something about you and your values, they won't believe anything about you. So own it. And if there's nothing wrong, I mean, that person that had integrity in it, he's not a bad person, and he gets things done. But so don't use that word, right? Don't use that as the one that we can challenge, because he does so many other great things, and he's very successful. So find another word that maybe hints at what you are more than that one, right? But if you put it in, you got to own it 100%. So any questions, anything y'all want to talk about?
I love it. I'm putting something down in the chat, which I just recently experienced because of honesty. And I'm not sure if this is a good time to cover that, but I feel like when we are saying all these value propositions about honesty and being, you know, fair and educating your clients, I would like to know more about this. This is just one client I have so far, right? And I've already experienced that and being called out to being very thorough.
Yeah, and those are things you have to understand. You know, we talk about what we owe our clients.
Right.
That's a whole nother class.
Right.
You know, confidentiality, fiduciary. I mean, those are the whole list. And of course, I just took a test, so I should remember all of them, but it comes in one ear and out the other as soon as I finish the test. But all I do know is that I I have to give my clients like the highest level. And even after the process is over, but I don't have to break the law for them. I don't have to do things that make me uncomfortable. And, you know, if it's not a good match on both sides, I mean, they don't always get to choose. If it's not a good match for me because they're making me not feel comfortable in an area, then I can choose not to work with them as well. So it goes both ways. And, you know, the number one thing is you want to be able to treat your clients just like they want to be treated, as long as that treatment is appropriate.
Okay. So, I mean, you know, you do what you need to do as far as what you think of yourself, but like, you know, if they're expecting something different, you can tell them that.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but first of all, they can't ask you to misrepresent something.
No, it was something to do with price change, and then the lender had not approved it yet, and I just wanted to let them know that it could affect their payments.
Yes. I mean,
and they didn't care if it affected their payments, but
all you can do is tell them and tell them where to find the information and suggest where they go. But, you know, bottom line, it's their responsibility.
Right. And they couldn't understand that, I mean, you know, why I was not writing that addendum without them finding out their facts from their lender.
That's right. Yeah. And it could always mean that, you know, do you want me to call your lender for you? How can I help you with this?
Right.
How can I help this so that we can get this addendum signed? Because if that's what you want, then tell me what I need to do to help you to get this.
Okay.
So, yeah, good. Anything else? Well, y'all are awesome. I am so thankful that you come and join us and are taking these Ignite classes. Jackie's done an awesome job. I am available. My phone number is always, I don't know, it's always out there somewhere. But I'll be starting to come in the office a little bit more often. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Jackie knows how to get a hold of me. And
yes. And before you leave, we have to get 3 takeaways or 3 ahas. You poured into us this morning, so we need 3 people at least. What are your takeaways from Martha this morning, guys?
I got 5 words. That's closer than I ever was, because this has been a nightmare for me. I'm math. Give me math, science, I'm good, but
Well, I'm trying to worry about ourselves is really, for some people it's easy. For me, that's a very difficult thing too.
Yeah, my biggest aha was definitely being able to come up with a couple sentences of really like who you are and like selling yourself, because the sort of bio I had before was kind of like more scripted and less personal. So I mean, it definitely does feel more natural when I think about it to be introducing it myself that way to the client.
Awesome.
Love the 3-word tagline. I think that's the biggest takeaway.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you, Martha, so much. That was, I can't, like, the way you taught that and put it into words, I think this is one of the hardest Ignite classes to really put into words to help people, and honest to God. So I think, like, thank you.
Well,
truly. You did an awesome job. We really appreciate you.
I'm honored to be here. Thanks.
Well, you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you soon.
I go to Bold. Anybody taking Bold?
Yeah, Greg is. I am. I just watch it later.
All right.
thank you.
Yes, I am as well.
All right, you guys. Well, we're going to stay on. I have something in command to show you to talk a little bit about the consumer app today. And before we do that, just because I feel like it falls so so much into what Martha was talking, actually even brought up the objection a couple times. Let's do our objection handler here. Once I can get myself out of there, we go. Let's do that first today, and then I'll go into the consumer stuff on command. So she alluded to it, so I want to talk about it. I know we've talked about it before. Every time we practice it and every time somebody else shares a different answer, we all get another takeaway from this particular objection. So the seller tells you you're in the listing appointment and they've interviewed multiple agents, you've done your best, you've brought all the great knowledge, and then they hit you with, well, you know what? Sounds good, but the other agent said he would reduce his commission to 4%, and that would really save us a lot of money.
I'll say something.
Yes.
So if the agent like just easily reduce the commission to 4%, he might be reduced your profit when you're negotiating with your buyer. So we deliver what we charge for. So we have confidence in that, I guess.
I love it. I mean, you knew that right away, like, and you were comfortable asking that, and that's definitely a great one of the many great responses, right? That makes me nervous. If he's willing to reduce his commission that fast, what's he willing to do with the sale of your home? Love it. Who else? There's so many ways to handle this one. Let's share some more.
You know, I would suggest to them that that's wonderful. They're going down to 4%, but quite often the buyer's agent is going to want 3%, and so your agent's going to get 1%, and maybe he has 20 more properties because of that. But if you're going to spend enough time to really get you the highest price, and is he going to be willing to cut the price just to try and do volume as compared to giving you the proper service?
Love it.
So what I'm hearing you say is that netting the most amount of money from the sale of your home is what's important to you?
Oh yeah, I want to make as most money as I can.
Oh, it's just the one question, Jackie.
Oh, keep going. It was so good.
No.
It was a good setup.
It was.
That was a great setup. So I'm going a different route than you guys on pricing, but you're looking for the highest price possible. You know, part of the thing about working for me is I know a lot of people, for instance, in the rehab business. So I have a company called Curbio where they can loan you money and you don't even have to pay it till after the close. So if we want to get the kitchen upgraded, and it's crazy, you do I did an under $3,000 upgrade, and we had 3 full price offers in 24 hours. So, and if we do that for you, even the price of getting those things done, like 54 square feet of granite, was only $2,800. So it's significantly less. So this is the value I can bring to you. Not only my price might be a little bit higher, but the value of being able to get contractors and be able to lend you money so you don't have to raid your piggy bank so you can buy the next home is way beyond the extra 2% that I charge over the 4% guy.
Interesting. I like that angle. It's different. It's something that we're not used to hearing. And as a seller, I definitely want to know more. So I like that.
I want to know more.
Okay, well, just sign here, press R 3 copies. Here's the disclosure.
Close. Nailed it.
Isn't this also a good opportunity to bring up Keller Mortgage and the savings that they can provide for financing and no closing costs, $1,000 back at closing on purchases over $150,000, and I can't remember the rest.
And I would say, like, you're absolutely nailing the details of that appropriately. That might be a little bit more effective on a buyer side. Keller Offers is what the seller side and a lot of people, and Gavin, I don't know if Greg's still on here because he has bold, but I know for sure, I think Greg's done Keller Offers. Gavin, have you?
No, I went through and did the thing, but I haven't. Today, that's one of my things. I want to call some FSBOs and see if they are willing to accept a cash offer on their home type of thing, and see if I can get in there, have them sign the thing and then take some pictures.
Has anyone on this call been Keller Offers certified?
Yeah, I have been.
Could you tell us a little bit about it, Greg?
It's really simple. It's a really easy class, and then you take a little test at the end of it. And then they're in constant communication with you. I just haven't used it yet because I haven't found anyone who wants that smaller price on their home. You know what I mean? No, I just haven't. I think there's the time for it, so it's good to have that option. So it's basically if they want the convenience or if they want to get net the most amount of money, because usually you're not going to net more money that way.
Gotcha. So in this case, that response probably isn't appropriate for somebody that's already wanting an agent to reduce their commission with the Keller offer. Yeah.
So Keller offers is it's best for distressed properties, properties that have a problem. Keller offers might be a good option.
Yeah, or maybe let's say they just have to sell fast for whatever reason. Boom, you can put them in that.
Okay, sounds good.
I don't get them an offer either. So you can get an offer on any listing you have. It doesn't cost you anything if you want to do that.
Yeah. And I know James just asked, so I'm sure other people are thinking too. Like what we will, they do offer training for Keller Mortgage, for Keller offers. So I'll check in with David and see when our next like round of that comes in from the region, and I'll make sure that you guys are aware of that as well.
I have the schedule somewhere, Jackie. He sent it to me a while ago. I think there's one coming up this week, and then I think next month.
Okay. Awesome. I will check into that and let you guys know. Is there anything else before we move into command? So I have to say one of my, I have a couple favorites on this one. I can't say I personally used this first one, but if the other agent, if we're acknowledging it, so what I hear you saying is that another agent that you talked to mentioned that he'd reduce his commission to 4%. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So other than him reducing his commission to 4%, is there anything else that would keep you from listing your house with me? No, I liked everything you said. Great. So let me just ask you a couple questions. When you go to the doctor's office, do you ask your doctor to lower your bill? Or do you try to negotiate the price with your doctor or dentist? No. Well, think of me, right, as your real estate doctor. And I'm here to provide you with the best possible service. I'm not just going to stick a sign in your yard and pray that it sells, right? I'm going to prospect for buyers. I'm going to reach out to my team. And then that's where I'm going to go into really making sure that they understand what I'm going to do. The other thing is, a lot of times people don't understand where the commission goes to. So, Mr. Seller, may I ask you a question? Do you happen to know where the commission goes? Do you know that I don't get all 6%? The buyer's agent gets 3%. And then the 3% that's left, do you know that I actually don't get all of that? Part of that goes to my brokerage. Part of that goes towards marketing your home so that I can get you an offer as fast as possible at top dollar. And before I get to take about the 1% left for my family and to pay my bills, I also have to pay Uncle Sam just like you. And I have to take that percentage out of what's left. So doesn't it make sense where I'm coming from and what I'm going to provide for you? And a lot of times they just don't know that. So simply like talking them through where it goes is also a great way to educate it, to address them. So don't you agree, working with me, you've said like, that I'm going to get the job done. Don't you agree that it's time to list your house with me?
I do.
Thank you, Margaret.
I think sometimes people feel obligated to ask.
Tell me about that a little bit. I think you're right.
I think they feel like it's worth a shot. Let me just ask, because you never know. And they would kind of feel like a sucker if they just accepted it and didn't try to get it lower.
Yeah.
It can also be a way of testing the agent.
True. And I also think when I go to a listing appointment, I already have whatever commission I'm choosing. I already have that in the paperwork. I don't sit there and draw it in front of them. I have it there because that's my standard. That's what I go by. So we go through the listing agreement, right? And we hit on points. We get there, okay, here's our commission, and we move on. I don't hover on it. And I think as like a new agent, when we were all newer, like some tended to hover on it. Like, and my commission is this and blah, blah, blah. Most of the time, you guys, if it's already there, it's the contract. This is what we're going through. Here's how it is. It's your standard. And most of the time, they're like, okay, like they just want to know how much they're going to list their house for. And then it might come up, oh, they'll see it and say, oh, okay, wow, oh, 6%, huh? I was hoping you'd do it for less.
Well,
And then
one, you know, and they look at it in terms of percentage, but dropping a commission by 2% is really like dropping it by whatever, 25%, 30%. You know, they don't actually think about it. They just think of the difference between 6 and 4 or 6 and 5, and they don't actually calculate out, wow, I'm not asking for 10% off. I'm asking for a 40% reduction in commission.
Mm-hmm.
Great point also. That's another thing that you could even illustrate too. I like that. Great. Good job. Lots of good responses on this one. Okay, so let me see which command I've got. I was doing a lot on command this morning for this. So we talked about value proposition with Martha today. And one of the biggest value proposition Keller Williams has to offer us as agents, and in turn agents to clients, is the technology, which we all know, which we're all doing a really good job getting our feet wet in. And today I wanted to talk a little bit more about the consumer app. And I know, especially when that consumer app first came out, there were lots of questions. I am going to do my very best to address and share what I've learned about it. And then kind of, if anything comes up that I don't know the answer to, I will not only check in with Casey, but Casey will be, and I have to look if he's next week or the week after. He's actually leading next week. He's leading one of our Ignite sessions on tech. So we will get it covered one way or the other. Just let me, before I do this, I was going to say by show of hands, you can raise your little virtual hand or just jump in on mute. How many of you guys have the consumer app downloaded, and how many of you have sent it out to somebody and started to see action from the people, received notifications that people have been on your app? Anyone?
I've sent it out, but nobody's active.
Okay. Sent it out. Okay, Ambika too, sent it out, but no action.
I had one person that registered with it, but everyone else, I think, has been using it without registering, so you can't really see their activity.
Okay. Okay. Except my husband, nice, Ambika. so you know it works because your husband's using it, which is helpful. And something I really actually recommend is testing it on someone that you live with or that you know. I actually just signed up for it myself and used a different email address so that I could test all of the things in command. So everything I tell you, whether it be smart plans, designs, good, Ambika, Facebook stuff, honest to God, I tested on myself and really learn what command can do for us. So, all right, I'm gonna hover. I feel like I'm gonna go a lot of different ways. So stop me, ask questions, and make sure that I stay on track. So first things first, when you're in command, when you're on this left-hand side with the applets, this one down here, I don't know really what that icon is, but that icon is for consumer. So if you click on that, this is where we're going to be able to find some information about our app and be able to make some changes to it. So I'm briefly going to show you the guide builder, and it's something that we can come back to after you kind of take a look at it in a future Ignite session or in a coaching session, but I want you to know that this is here. So if you click on guide builder, this is what actually will show up on your app. If you have your phone with you and you have the app downloaded, feel free to kind of like look at it as I'm talking about some of this stuff, because you'll see, remember, the consumer app is branded to the consumer. So you're not going to go in and really log in as an agent. You're going to see that you are your agent. So I don't know, not sure how good that's doing, but when I like choose your agent, it says it's me, and it says your agent is, right? So that's what it looks like when you share it. That's what it's supposed to look like. So command, you're commanding, you're in control of as the agent. The app is for the consumer. So that's also like a really big thing to help about. If you're in your app, you can share it by texting it to other people from your phone, or I'm also going to show you today how to do that from the computer, from command, okay? When you're at the very bottom of your app, you'll see buttons that say search, feed, guide, saved, more. The guide is what we're talking about right here and now on the computer screen. So you can actually manipulate the guide on command. You can set this up, like those of you that did that, we have our home buyers system, right? James even said, like, one of the things he's going to do is he's going to educate his buyers on the process. So you can actually go in here, the pencil is the edit. You can click on the pencil and then you can make changes here. So you might see when you click on your guide, I think they actually had it like automated for start your search to be up here at the top. Well, I don't want them to start their search until they get pre-approved. And maybe that's even they should be choosing their realtor before they get pre-approved. Maybe those go hand in hand. And Eric taught me that this little gray box here, if you grab and hold, that's how you can change the order. So the order that you have them on this page is then the order that's going to come up when they're using their app, so that you're kind of checking them through the system, right? So if they're choosing a realtor, getting pre-approved, command automatically has these things already set with some sayings in there. If you want to change something, or if you want to add your own, okay, you can click add a step, and then you can, I believe we tried this before, selecting a default, and we have all of them in there right now. You might be able to go to designs and create one, but really creating the custom step is what we were working on, and that's how I did the choose your realtor when I made that one. So I just titled it, and then the subtitle I think I put as pick me. So that's really where you're putting your description. And then you can drag and drop your own image here. This is the only thing right now that's a little bit tricky because, oops, sorry, I just had to exit out of that, because you can see that they are edited. So you're gonna have to be careful, like with your picture. They're not perfect right now, and that's just where we're at with command, but you can see like I made sure that my face was at least in there, and you can kind of move it around. Okay, if you click this part that says introduction on the buyer's guide, this is what's going to show up. And if you prefer to change what it looks like, you can go ahead and you can change it to your home buyer's guide. And if you want, you can change the message. So it automatically had populated, congratulations on starting the process of buying your home. This timeline will guide you through the steps required. And I don't know why I keep saying Paul will be providing insights. So you can say, Jackie, make sure you read it because command has put in some interesting things. Jackie will be providing insights on each step. You don't need to follow it exactly, but we do recommend you consider each step, especially if you're a first-time buyer. And then you click Save Changes, and that will be saved not only in your command, but it'll save automatically to the app, okay? So that guide builder, you can do that on the buy side, and you can do it on the sell side. Again, you can add to the ones that are already there. You can delete, you can move them around, okay? So that's one nice feature on how to personalize your app a little bit more. So another place that you can go to think about getting this link to share, if we're still in this consumer, I'm just going to kind of go back to clicking on it fresh just so you can see it from the start. I clicked on consumer app, the consumer applet, and then if you go to site and app settings. So if I go to site and app settings, and I choose URLs, this is where I'm gonna get the link to share my app. So right here, this app URL, we can use this. You can copy, paste it, and you can share it with everybody. You can share it. I know Casey said he just has it like at the bottom in his email signature, or at the bottom, you know, download my app here. You can include that on your Facebook post, which I'm going to show you in a minute. That's what you can share that. So you can hit the share my app and send it via text, but this is the link you can use to put on anything that you want to market. Those of you
Everyone
that are
has
super
a unique URL. Yes.
Yes.
Don't copy Jackie's.
Yeah, don't copy mine. Thank you. I'm glad you said that, because I wasn't in my head. I knew that, but that was, thank you. Don't copy mine. I mean, you can share mine all you want, but yeah, you all have your own. That's why I showed you where to find it. If you're super savvy and you've been to this page before, there was also a text code that they could use. And Casey must have called somebody already, because it's not here anymore. It wasn't working this morning. So they must already be on top of that. So right now, I verified, we've checked, this works, that your unique URL. So let me show you. I'm going to show you what happens if I were just to copy it and paste it. Okay. If I copy and paste that, this is what they're going to see if they click on it. They're going to get that, the app. It's going to tell them that they can enter their phone number to receive a link to download the app. Okay. And they can also, if they've already done this, you'll see I'm already logged in because I've signed in and I've signed up. So you can see I can click here and it's going to already show me, look, the thing that I already just changed. I just made these changes on command. And you can see that right here. So they can also do it from their computer. Okay. They go to the feed. That's where they can search, right? You can search up here at the top box. They can see all of the things that they've done already. If they've saved a search, if they've created a collection, if you have an updated guide, they're going to be able to see that as well. Okay. So if you were on one of our calls before I bounce back to designs, if you saw one of the things we did in coaching, I just want to show you, if you didn't see this, this is pretty cool. Once somebody is actually logged in to your app, they've signed in and logged in, you'll be able to track all of that progress through command. So if I'm just looking right now, this is the consumer app. So remember, I'm searching as a consumer and I'm looking and I decide that I click on a home that I've been viewing. Give it a second here to come up. So I can save it in a collection. Okay. I can create a note, love the yard. This is cool, you guys, too, because you can do like a little Loom video and you could like post that out to share, like, hey guys, here's what the app does. Because think about all the people, you might be sending it out to them, but they might not know like all of the amazing features that they can do on it from the comfort of their own home, right? So doing a little video or showing a screenshot, some, you know, as simple as that, like letting them know, like, this is not just your normal app. Here's what we can do. And then, like most of you guys saw, now you can do the video tours. So they can request that they're available on Wednesday in the afternoon or on Friday in the evening. They're available and they'd like to see a video tour. So they can either try to schedule with you an in-person showing, or they can ask for a live video tour. They can tell you I'm available via FaceTime and Zoom. And they can say, you know, I'd prefer Friday at 4. And once they hit request, okay, it tells them that the request was submitted. As that's happening, I'm getting a notification on my phone from Kelly saying that a request happened. And if I go back to command, okay, oops, sorry. This is the tricky, there we go. In my notifications now, I should refresh because I did that a couple hours ago, but you'll see that I also did that a couple hours ago and that's showing up. In my notifications, it says video tour requested from Jackie. I click on that and it takes me to the contact page, my contact page, and it says right here, it's going to show you the interaction that I've had. Look, I liked that when I was looking at the app. It says that I created a collection. It'll show this morning that I viewed a listing and that I logged in earlier today at 7:48 a.m. And now, oh, look at that. She wants to see something, so I need to request. Now I can see what she's requested and I can reach out and contact. I don't know why I'm talking about myself in the third person, but I can reach out and let myself know which day and time that I can go out there and do that video tour. So that's something super unique and exciting about the consumer app. Before I show you one little idea in design, what questions can I attempt to answer so far?
Hey, Jackie, I was trying to, so I created a, I'm trying to think what you, the notification, no, not the notification, but the smart plan. I created the smart plan for my 2 farm areas that I'm trying to work. And so I was trying to, once I had that created, then I was trying to go to a screen to download all of the email contacts that I had to send a bulk email to all of them with information. I couldn't get to that screen to be able to send a bulk email. So I sent individual, I had to cut and paste and did each one at a time, which took longer, but I wasn't getting the ease of inserting the people that I want to contact into the smart plan.
Gotcha. Were all of those people that you wanted on the smart plan, did they all have a tag?
Yes. Specific to the farm area, yes.
Okay. So did you, on this contact page that I have up here right now, James, you could do it 2 ways. So if you go from the contact page, did you try to filter them out using the tag?
Yeah, I did that. I was able to filter them. Okay. And so I had them all on the screen filtered. Okay. So that worked. All right. But trying to insert them into the smart plan once I had them filtered was the issue.
Okay, so did you select everybody and then did you go to this select bulk action?
I thought I did, but I'll go back and try that again because, but when you, okay, so when you say send bulk email list or add to email list.
Oh, that might have been why, James. So you created, the email you created was a smart plan, right? Like
yes. Well, I created a smart plan first.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna go to add to smart plan because you created it as an email. So you're gonna go to smart plan and then whatever smart plan it was, like here if you titled it email farm, just so you knew what it was, that's when you would hit select and it would send to all those people. Okay. So I'm wondering if you chose add to email list instead of add to smart plan.
Instead of add to smart plan. Okay. I'll go back and check that again. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, and just to double check and I'm pulling up the smart plan page just because I want to, that was a really good question and I want to make sure that I fully answer it. So you created the email here, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I think maybe it was just maybe a misstep in the select bulk action.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'll go back and try it again. Thank you.
Cool. My pleasure. All right. Here's another tab or an applet, the designs applet, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how I actually tested it this morning, so I was super excited, how I used the download my app link that I showed you guys, that I copied and pasted to make a social media post this morning. So if you go into designs, and this is something I'm just going to be honest, you have to, kind of dedicate after your big rocks, after the lead gen, the follow-up, the script practice, role play, take care of any deals that you're working on, then you can schedule in 30 minutes to play on designs because it gets easier after you learn more about manipulating it. okay? But I wanted to take a minute just specifically to talk about one design today, and we can certainly talk about more in future Ignite sessions if you guys are interested in that. But I created, and you'll see it right here, I created one that said, browse your dream home from the comfort of your couch for the app. So I'll show you how I did that. I chose the little plus sign, and I chose social because I wanted it to be a social media design, and I hit next. And remember, this is recording too, so you can always rewatch this when we post it and like zoom all the way to this part. Okay, so here you have the opportunity to use some of the designs that have already been set up for you. I'm going to show you what I did. I actually didn't use any of the ones that were already here. Instead, I went to the section, this little tab that says My Designs, and I chose to make one on my own. And I'm going to be super honest with you. I knew what I wanted to create, and it was just way easier for me to go in and create it on my own. I went to create a design. I chose Start. And the cool thing about this, which was new to, I think new to Command, is I got to choose what I'm going to do. So I knew that I wanted it to go to Facebook. So I chose Facebook. Okay. Ooh, that's exciting, Greg. As it's loading, Greg shared a bit off topic, but yesterday I found out that emails will soon be fully integrated in Command, and we will no longer need to use MailChimp. Very cool. Okay, so I chose create my own. I chose the Facebook template, so it kind of already gets it measured by the correct size. And since I knew that exactly what I wanted to do, I wanted to use, as it's coming up, sorry. There we go. If you click on images, all of these images that are already here, those are allowed. You can use those images, okay? So I chose the one that said app images, and when you hover over it, you'll see this little checkered one that looks like the Zoom chat. You can check use as background, and now I'm creating my own background, okay? And then I can add my own text by choosing text here, and I just have to, sorry, scoot you guys down just a little bit. Let me go to add instead of company. There we go. So I just use this tab up here to choose add. I can title it, okay, and you're gonna see, oops, you'll see my mistake there. I can just click on it and hit delete. Whatever you want to say, when you're clicked here, when you click on this little, this is supposed to be a typewriter, when you click on that little icon, you can see a lot better what you're typing in. So if you haven't done that, you can say, you know, download my easy to use app today. And then you hit done. Actually, I think I covered up the button I was supposed to hit. Sorry, I was supposed to hit save changes. I just can't see it. Whoop. Okay, save changes at the bottom. Okay, and then I can manipulate. I can change the color. Oops, that was a bullet point. I can change the color. I can change the letter case. We can center it. Okay, it's a little bit challenging to do with my Zoom screen everywhere. But anyway, I just wanted to show you first, and then I'm going to show you real quick how to make a post without spending money on it. So you can set up this however you'd like. If you click on the picture and you use this half looking thing up here, opacity, it'll actually, if you bring it down, it'll lighten the background picture. So if you haven't played with that yet, it will do that. On your text, we're going to make sure that somewhere, somewhere on there at the bottom, we're going to put really small. Each office is independently owned and operated. I can put my, you know, my realtor logo and my equal housing logo on there. I also know though that the background on my business Facebook page already has that. And because it's already on that page and that's where I'm posting this to, I don't necessarily have to have those things on this particular one because I'm not running it as an ad. I'm just gonna run it as a free social media post. Okay, so let's just say I've manipulated this one however I wanted it to look, and I hit done and I've saved it. It's now saving to my designs library. It's saving in this designs templates. From here, okay, so here's the one I just did. This is the one I did earlier. If you want to go into campaigns, this is where you can either choose to create, and Casey is gonna spend a lot of time on talking about the paid Facebook ads. You can create that, but I want you to be aware that you can also create social media posts here that you don't have to pay for. So if I go to create a new campaign, you have the choice of a social ad that you're paying for or just a regular social post. So I'm choosing a regular social post, okay? And just like if you've got an experience with the ad, you can say, you know, take a look at my new app or download my new app, whatever you wanna put there. You're gonna choose browse from design library, and this is gonna take you back to what we just did. So if I choose the design that we just created, I click on it once and then just you give it a second or two to upload. And once it does, this happened earlier too, and I think it's just because I created it super fast. Literally like 2 minutes later, it came back. So I'm just gonna refresh it really fast. Okay. All right, I hit the refresh. Obviously I'd have to go back and type in, but let me try it one more time. Okay, so that it happened earlier, and I think it's just because I'm trying to do it so fast. If you get that message that it didn't work, just hit the refresh button. Now here's something super important. Right now it's kind of showing an Instagram image. You have to click on the drop down and go to wide. Okay, so once you do that, I'm gonna save it, and you'll see the little preview over here to the right. You can say, you know, search for your dream home. And then in this same section here, click here to download my free app, : That's where you're gonna add the link. Okay, so you're gonna copy and paste it there since this is one that we're doing for free. So that, that consumer app, I'm just opening, oops, I thought I was opening a new window, wrong thing. That consumer app that I had showed you earlier, that was gonna take you to my page, because I don't think I have it on copy and paste anymore. That's where you're gonna put that link, okay? Let's see. It is still there, awesome. Okay, so it's not gonna show up, but I will show you that it does work. It doesn't show up lit up as a link. I copied and pasted it. I'm gonna go down. The ownership statement, you guys, is that each office is independently owned and operated, and if you can't see, it just appeared right there. Okay, so I can hit apply. You can either schedule it, so you could start scheduling your posts right from command for the whole week ahead, or you can choose publish immediately. Okay, and then you'll notice that you should have your Facebook page already connected, something that Casey had done with you. And I know this is the page it's gonna go to. And then you're gonna post, publish post. Do you wanna publish this post? Publish. And we're gonna see if it worked earlier. So it looks like, okay, it's published. You'll see the one that I tried this morning. It says it published at 8:06. If you go back to actually my Facebook page, the productivity coaching one, you will see it. So let me go to the page that it was supposed to be on. Okay. Scroll down here if my mouse cooperates. There we go. Thanks for being patient.
Hey, Jackie, why does that each office independently owned and operated not automatically come up? Why do we have to check it? I mean, shouldn't it automatically come up?
Not if I didn't put it in the design. So that's why that little checkbox is there. If I didn't actually put it in when I was designing it, yeah. But to that point, here, let me show you this, and then I'm going to show you something, Victoria. So we just did this, right? You literally saw me just do it. Okay, it's here. The link, it didn't show up when we were doing it as lit up as a link, but it's lit. I don't know, for lack of a better word, that is probably way not the tech version to say lit up like that, but it's lit up there. And when I click on it, it takes me to where it's supposed to take me. Okay. Loom trainings to the Google Drive. I do have some Loom trainings, James, on the video, in the video file folder. The ones, the Ignite ones, Ignite in our PCX shared drive has its own folder now, Ignite 2.0, and all of the Ignites that we've recorded are in there. So Casey's actually getting me, we're behind on 2, so he's getting me those today, and those will be uploaded, and I'll also share them on our Facebook page.
Perfect.
So Victoria,
a place to go back to be able to, like, you know, review and go over. So that's great. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then Victoria had asked, you know, like, why doesn't that each office independently owned and operated come up? If it didn't, as long as they're one click away. Okay, so if this is showing up on my Facebook page and I have this information up here, it's okay. On an ad that you're running, a paid ad, that thing's gonna be going everywhere, it has to be on your ad. If you're just doing a post on your page, if you have this up there, you're okay.
No, I understand that it needs to be on there. I'm just wondering why it doesn't automatically go on there and we have to select it each time. That was my only question.
Do it something like an invitation, or I don't know. I would think there's something you could be creating that maybe you wouldn't want it to appear on.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe if you're just using it for a card or something. I don't know. But yeah, maybe that's yeah, that's a good thought. So
I guess we could ask Casey why it's not a default, right? Why does it not just automatically default to that being there? Then if you want to delete it, you could.
That's
since
the word
we need to put it in.
Yeah.
Default. See, you guys have better tech language than I have. So yeah, we can definitely check in with him. That's a good question. But so that was kind of a briefing on designs. And again, like, the more you get in there and play around with it, the easier it is. But that link is awesome for the app. Like, I think personally, I was just thinking, you know, sharing it on my phone via text, which I think is super powerful. But I think also being able to put it into just a normal Facebook post by copying the link or seeing it on the computer, or even just really like thinking about our value proposition. Like, if you're just sending someone an app, do you know how many apps they see, or how many, you know, ads or people that are sending them that? Why aren't we, you know, sending them a video message of ourselves talking about one specific feature of the app? And I believe, let me look on my phone, because there is something, and jump in, you guys, somebody knows the answer. I think you can, or I do, you can Loom on your phone. They just won't be able to see your face. So you can actually download the Loom app, Loom, for free. You can sign into that. And then when you do that, I was trying to do it really fast to try to give you, when you do that, you can actually pull up the app. The only thing I think when we tried this before, and Margaret reminded me, because I know you had, you were helping me, I don't think it recorded my voice. And that was the one thing that we were working on. Although it says right here, tap the mic if you would like to include your voice. So it would be really cool, you guys, if you did that and you hit record screen and actually just showed like a little video of a certain feature of the app, you know, showing them how they could literally book a virtual home tour by using your app. And weekly, just giving them information. Here's what my app does. Because a lot of times, like, think about it. I mean, I think about myself when I got this MacBook. I probably don't use it to 50% of its potential because I don't know all the stuff, or honestly, I just didn't take the time to learn it. So if somebody's going to send me a video and I'm going to see that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I could do that. Cool. Now I'll do it because somebody else told me how and showed me how. And it just took me 1 minute to learn it because somebody showed me how to do it. So think about that in terms of another touch, or when you're sending it out or posting on social media. LOOM. That's how I've done a lot of the videos for us. And you can download it on your phone. I'm going to try one also.
This video was brought to you by Keller Williams Arizona Realty TV. Please check out our channel for other great videos. And if you like what you see, like and subscribe.